Hi, and welcome to episode 12 of the Aussie Tech Crypto, a show about cryptocurrency from Australian viewpoint. The show is brought to you by Australia Coin, Australia's true blue Aussie crypto coin. Join the Crypto Coppers Facebook group for airdrops Friday Arvos. I'm your host, Jason Oakley. This is my co-host, Will Tomkinson. Hey, Will.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Great. What's been going on?
Oh, mate, just another typical Easter weekend and all the guff that goes with it.
Lots of chocolate.
No, don't do chocolate much.
Oh, what?
Well, I gave up sugar a couple of years ago, so I actually can't eat. If I eat like normal chocolate, it actually makes me crook.
It's too sweet now, right?
I can eat. Yeah, I can have like 80% or something. Well, I actually found a 80. What are they called? They actually do a Lindt do a 80% Easter egg. So that's good.
Oh, yeah. So sweet. I think I saw them at Coles.
Yeah, I mean they're like $10 for this egg, but still, it's a once a year thing. But no, it's the the running around, the meeting everyone, the greeting, the barbecues, the food, the tiredness, the exhaustion, the fatigue, all that. I mainly remember the tiredness, exhaustion, and fatigue.
And we can add on to that everything being red at the moment. So
didn't everything? Well,
all altcoins red, green, green, red, red, green, red, red, red.
Yeah, I mean they did kind of predict that. They said that it was going to tank about April 1st, and everyone thought it was. That's ironic that it was Easter and April Fool's sort of all at the same time.
Yeah.
So people said, "Oh, they're going to tank," and everyone's like, "Yeah, good April Fool's joke." It's like, no, really.
Oh wait, it did. Oh.
Yeah. So
it is the April Fool's episode of our show.
Well, I mean, it's always a Fool's episode.
Yeah.
Nothing changes there. We have a special guest later too, which will help things along a little bit.
Each week we hope to bring you interesting information and news about the crypto world and what it's all about. Today we're talking about Ripple donating $29 million forged cryptocurrency. Monero is not quite so private as we thought. The Toronto Stock Exchange with cryptocurrency, Cointext, and our coin of the week this week is AEON. Let's start with some crypto news.
AEON. Isn't AEON Flux? Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah.
Now they're naming coins after movies. Seriously.
Yep.
Anywho.
Wait for the Matrix coin. Wait, there is Neo.
Yeah.
There's a coin called Neo, right?
That's it. They're already halfway there. It's not a real coin. It's just an illusion of a coin. The coin doesn't really exist.
Whoa! Holy!
Great. Someone's going to do that now, and it's going to make a fortune because it's a stupid idea.
Ripple
announced it would donate $29 million to a crowdfunding organisation dedicated to the US public school system. Because, well, let's face it, they need it. DonorsChoose.org is a platform used by teachers across the United States to create jobs, search for resources that students can demand, and donors who award on their own will. Founded by a teacher in the Bronx in 2000, it has received from 3 million people, and partners have given over $650 million to projects reaching 27 million students. Ripple and its leaders made the donation on XRP, which was later converted to US dollars. Ripple allows a frictionless experience to send money globally using blockchain technology. With offices in San Fran, New York, London, Singapore, Sydney, and Mumbai, they have more than 100 clients worldwide. Really? Only 100 people use the service. Okay. The gift represents the largest donation received by DonorsChoose.org in its 18-year history and likely represents the largest ever donation of a digital asset to a single charity. Ripple and its executive contributed to the donation in XRP, which was converted to US dollars used to purchase classroom material. Before we get to the Ripple thing, the US schooling system, public schooling system, isn't great, as you're probably aware if you've ever, read anything or watched anything on YouTube. So anything that can definitely help the students. And it's not the teacher's fault. It's one of the rare situations where the teachers actually, that sounded wrong, but it's one of the situations where the teachers are doing the best thing they can do. They're just they have no money. They have no. Their hands are tied. They have no. I mean, I've seen. Keeping in mind, America's supposed to be the country to beat. And I've seen stories where they can't even afford chalk for the chalkboards.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And this is, I mean, okay, this was founded in the Bronx, but this isn't just in the Bronx. This is nationwide. It's absolutely insane that they spend whatever it is, $125 billion or something on going to war, but they can't give a school a few bucks for chalk.
Yep.
So shows you where its priorities are. But having said that, this is a really interesting, I guess it's almost a case study on Ripple and crypto in real world use case.
At least it should make Glenn happy, since I suggested he buy a Ripple back in the day, and he's still waiting for it to moon.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's certainly going to help their cause. I mean, whether or not, I mean, let's face it, would they donate 29 million? Realistically, at the end of the day, is chump change. But the fact that it was donated by a crypto, I think, really is going to make people sit up and pay attention. I'm kind of curious, though, if, well, I don't know the tax laws in America. I know in Australia, if a company donates $10 million or whatever they want to donate, effectively it's a tax write-off.
Yep.
I wonder if it's a similar sort of thing over there. And if you think about it, they could probably use all the tax assistance they can get. Especially if they've got offices over there. But no, look, it's good. It shows you that, because quite often I was actually having this conversation today. What can we use crypto for in the real world? It's like, well, you can't just go and use crypto in the real world. You've got to do this process.
Bit of a song and dance first.
Yeah, but as Ripple said, look, all we did was we went to XRP, we converted it to US dollars, and we gave money. Like, it wasn't a big, it wasn't a big deal like it can be. It was quite streamlined and quite easy to do, and it worked. I'd love to know work out the percentage on the conversion for that one.
Yeah.
That'd be, somebody made a couple of nice dollars out of that.
Yep.
So, but it does bring up an interesting point. If two major organisations were vested in crypto and they did, trading with each other, it'd really be interesting to see if they would trade crypto. You know what I mean? Like, if it's feasible on large scale trading without the currency conversion.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens there. But no, it's a good start. Certainly a good launch, good place to start. It's also good. I'm guessing, I haven't checked. I'm guessing it probably made decent media coverage in the States too. So it's also good for them because it gets their name out there a bit more.
Some publicity, yeah. It's always good.
It is, even if it is mainstream media.
Instead of if you invest your money in crypto, it will be gone. Warning, warning.
That's
Crypto's evil.
Look, crypto's still evil, and your money still might disappear, but look, you can do good things with it. Oh, dear.
Don't get used to it. Americans could soon be doing cryptocurrency transactions from their vehicles and arriving at their destinations faster. A subsidiary of Dearborn, Michigan-based Ford Motors, has been granted a patent by the United States Patent and Trademark Office for cryptocurrency-fueled technology to power its cars. Ever heard of putting cryptocurrency in your fuel tank?
Wasn't that like last week where you used crypto to charge your phone?
Yeah. It's called the Cooperatively Managed Merge and Pass, or CMMP. It was filed in 2016 and was just granted to Ford Global Technologies. CMMP is a token-based system that operates within its own ecosystem, but also out in the open road. It's a vehicle-to-vehicle or car-to-car communication platform on which, at the request of participating drivers and enabled by GPS technology, cars can talk to one another about traffic patterns. The system would also monitor and collect data on drivers, which during a time when Facebook is being skewered for data sharing could raise some concerns. The CMMP system operates with individual token-based transactions where the merchant vehicles and the consumer's vehicles agree to trade units of cryptocurrency according to the patent. It gives the consumer vehicle preferential lane access during periods of heavy congestion, allowing them to weave in and out of traffic for a price. The patent further explains merchant vehicles voluntarily occupy slower lanes of traffic MP now to facilitate the consumer vehicle to merge into their lanes and pass as needed. Merchant vehicles are paid in CCMP token. It was CMMP now.
CMMP. They don't even know
Who
what it's called.
proofread this article? Are paid in CMMP tokens for giving the consumer vehicle the right of way. The price depends on the time advantage that the consumer vehicle is requesting. For example, a driver of consumer vehicles running late for an appointment may request to pass any participating merchant vehicles for a duration of 10 minutes on a particular road or highway for 60 CMMP tokens at a rate of 10 seconds preferential access per token.
Nothing about this sounds like a good idea.
Do you think there's going to be many people pulling over if you pay them enough money?
No. Because whenever human nature's involved, hey, they paid me money, I'm just going to keep it and keep doing what I'm doing. Like, okay, fast forward 10, 15, 20 years when Teslas are self-driving everywhere, yes, okay, this might be a thing, where the vehicle makes the decision itself, or on a freeway where you have a dedicated lane for people who have purchased that.
The Bitcoin lane.
But it's not. No. Nothing about this is healthy.
And only if you're rich enough can you afford to go in the fast paid lane.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, okay, what technology are they using to start with? Because if they're using Bluetooth, they don't have enough range to do a complicated transaction.
5G.
Well, that means every car has to be equipped with 5G.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4G or whatever particular token. But the thing is that your phone that's doing it, or is there a special device in the vehicle that's doing it? Which you'd need to have the device, because if you're paying somebody who's riding along on a motorbike, you're getting shafted. So you couldn't do it with a phone. You'd have to do it with a physical device.
Yep.
The other thing that I wish I was kind of on, I wanted to be on Aussie Tech Heads last week because I wanted to talk about how Facebook's getting raked over the coals for doing exactly the same thing that Google and Apple and everybody else is doing. You know, you're using their services where they specifically say we're collecting data on you. You're not paying to use that service. They're providing the service for free, and then you're complaining that they're collecting data on you.
Yep.
Huh? So anyway, but I don't understand. This doesn't... and the whole sharing data and working out what way it's faster, well, Google Maps already does that. Waze does that. There's already apps that do that. I don't know. I can't... And not only that, by the sounds of it, they're going to using their own token, their CMMP token. So there's another token that before you leave home, because you can't use your phone while you're driving, so I don't know how this is going to work, but before you leave home, you need to convert whatever Bitcoin you have into CCMP. The right amount, mind you, CMMP. I read the CCMP part again. Into the right currency for this from whatever currency you're using, knowing how much you're going to need to have in advance. Nah.
Just in case you need to use it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing about this that's feasible, let alone functional. It can't be done. There are situations where I could see it being used, but not for what they're talking about. The only way I could see it working was where there was some sort of integration where you could pay for like parking garages or toll lanes or ferry passes. You know what I mean? Like there is definitely a way to use it, but that's not the way to use it.
Yeah.
It can't be. It's physically not possible. Like they're saying, okay, you have cars, you then pay to weave in and out of traffic. The thing is, you're going to do that. All you need to do, if that's the case, is find somebody who's doing it and follow them. You know, like it doesn't make any sense. No, not buying it. Sorry, guys. Ford, go and make some real cars instead of relying on crap to sell your cars.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
Pretty much. I get, as I said, you know, it's going to get to the point where everybody's going to have their own token because we are heading in that direction, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Like, I don't want my own token, thanks. I don't want the responsibility and the effort to go with that. And I think a lot of these are going to have the same sort of deal. They go, oh, look, it's early on, and honestly, I'm surprised some of the bigger corporations haven't done it. But, oh, it's early on, let's jump on the bandwagon, and Ford's going to have one, and Chevy's going to have one, and Holden's going to have one, and Toyota's going to have one, and next time you buy your car, you get so many tokens with it, then you can do absolutely nothing with it because we don't support anybody else's. Yeah, no. No, thanks. I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are, but for me, it just doesn't ring.
Sounds good to me what you said.
You weren't even listening. You're just nodding and agreeing. Yeah, see? I know
Tuesday.
Better not be. I'm late for work. Oh, dear. Discerning Dark. As a discerning dark web drug dealers and pseudonymous hackers. Pseudonymous.
A good story again. I didn't do it on purpose.
I swear, I'm going to proofread these before the show one day. Whoops.
No. That'll never happen.
Have figured that Bitcoin is not magically private money. Many have turned to Monero, a digital coin that promises far higher degree of anonymity and untraceability baked into its design. But one group of researchers has found that Monero's privacy protections, while better than Bitcoin's, aren't still the cloak of invisibility they might seem. Monero's design is to mix up any given Monero coin with other payments so that anyone scouring Monero's blockchain can't link it to a particular identity or previous transaction from the same source. But in a recent paper, a team of researchers from a broad collection of institutions, including Princeton, Carnegie Mellon, is that like the small version of Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
Boston University, MIT, University of Illinois, point to flaws that point to flaws in that mixing that make it possible to nonetheless extract individual transactions. I shouldn't just worry about anyone trying to stealthily spend Monero today. It also means evidence of earlier, not quite untraceable payments remain carved in Monero's blockchain for years to come, visible for any snoop that cares to look. The mental model that people have today is for Monero's simplistic one, that these transactions are private. That model is just incorrect, says Andrew Miller, a researcher at the University of Illinois at Champaign, who worked on the paper. There's information that's revealed and not covered up by Monero's cryptography.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's the way a blockchain works. At the end of the day, it's still, you might be able to mix up where you're putting that transaction, but at the end of the day, it still has to be in there. And then that still has to be readable by the currency to know where it's coming from and going to. So
there's some sort of transaction to somebody somewhere.
Yeah, look, the actual details of the transaction, I guess worst case scenario, you're going to get somebody's wallet, but there's not really a lot you can do with a wallet number if you don't know. You'd have to know exactly what exchange it's from. You'd have to know, and even then, I don't think you can get somebody's details from it, can you? It's just a unique number handed out to somebody.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I don't really. You might be able to know where the payment came from because you can leave a from when you send a payment to somebody, but I don't know. You don't know who they're sending it to. I don't know. Is it really a concern? Like, should we be worried about them being able to trace a transaction?
Well, it's only if you're doing very naughty things.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, as I was saying, how much information can they get from a transaction? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if they can trace it, but to what end? What are they tracing it to? They're tracing it to another crypto account.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you could narrow it down to an exchange, maybe you could hit up the exchange and with a subpoena and go, give me their details, maybe?
Yeah. That's probably about it.
But yeah. Because, all those criminals are going to sign up to exchanges using their legit name and identification.
Yeah. Max power. So
I don't. I'm slightly bamboozled as to the ramifications to this. I did a little bit of Googling a few nights ago when I actually heard about this, and I tried to find out what the ramification of a breach of blockchain information was, and I couldn't. It either hasn't happened to the point that it's caused an issue, or nobody really knows, because I couldn't find anything
You might be
concrete.
right. Reading a little bit further in the article, it says you have a permanent record of everything taking place. If down the road someone finds a vulnerability that can reveal what happened in the past, you may be at risk. So that's a big if.
Yeah, so basically, but that would be from the exchange end.
Yeah.
So if they can get into your exchange account and they can trace via blockchains all your transactions, but that's going to happen no matter. I mean, if you're already into the exchange account, you're already going to have a list of all their transactions through the history anyway. So it's kind of irrelevant.
I think they're trying to say if they can somehow break the encryption on Monero encrypted blockchains somewhere in the future with magic quantum computers or something, then it might be a problem. But there's a lot of speculation.
But by then, it's not going to. Yeah, it's all. That's what I mean. I don't think it's ever actually. Even on a lot of the open, well, not open, but a lot of the less secure coins. Well, yeah, or Lycon or whatever. I mean, they've all got Australia coin, whatever. They've all got relatively unsecure compared to some of them. But is it? As I said, like, what are you going to do with that information? You're going to spend a heap of time getting the information.
Yep.
And then okay, so now I've linked the transaction from this device to this account to this account to this account, but I don't know who owns the accounts. I don't know what to do with the, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I couldn't find any use cases where this was actually a problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Storm in a teacup.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, look, it's good to know that there's security vulnerabilities. That's fine and dandy. But to the, what's that expression, the 95th percentile?
Yeah.
Can it make that slightest bit of difference? You know, like, it's just not. No one cares. I mean,
as we keep saying, technologies, it's secure enough, and that's what matters.
Yeah. As we keep saying it's not going to matter. Speaking of secure things, take the battery off charge before it explodes. It's you know, it doesn't matter if you're like leaving my phone around. I've got bank details. I've got, you know, everything accessible on that. So what's more vulnerable, that or a relatively unbreakable, you know, Bitcoin transaction? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if my phone or if anybody's phone gets either Trojaned or gets hacked into or gets stolen and opened up and accessed, that's far more information than you're going to get any other way, you know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good to know about security breaches, but it's...
Possible future security breach.
Yeah, you know. Wake me up when it becomes a thing.
Alrighty.
Like when my 200 NAS decide they're under threat, then let me know and I'll do something about it. Okay. Until then, you know.
The TMX Group owns the Toronto Stock Exchange, Montreal Exchange, and the Boston Options Exchange. These exchanges account for $3 trillion in market capitalization and $92 billion in monthly trading volume. This makes the TMX Group the world's 9th largest stock exchange. On March 23rd, the TMX Group announced they were starting a cryptocurrency brokerage service focusing on Bitcoin and Ether. They'll be participating with Paycase, a Toronto-based firm that specializes in decentralized financial services. Their service will allow huge investors to purchase Bitcoin and Ether, among other cryptocurrencies. It is huge in terms of adoption for cryptocurrencies. Not only does it mean many institutional investors, but it's also important as it shows how mainstream cryptocurrency has become. It is best shown when you have a look at a quote from their press release. As new technologies continue to reshape the global financial industry, we continue to explore new ways to evolve our business to address client needs in both traditional and non-traditional markets. They believe cryptocurrencies will reshape global financial industry. They also state, we will evolve the business to address client needs. This quote shows how they have found a huge demand for purchasing cryptocurrencies in the institutions. So it's going mainstream with stock exchanges.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was bound to happen. Instead of them banning it, it's about time they decided that they can actually use it.
Yeah, there's still some banks that are banning money transferring to crypto exchanges, which is sad.
It's interesting, like, a little bit of a insider secret here. The interview you're going to see later, it wasn't recorded during the show. We pre-recorded it. But it's interesting how even then he was talking about basically that, exactly. The crypto is becoming mainstream, and the hardest part about that is getting people to adopt the usage of it. But, I mean, that takes you back to no different than when we the transition over the last 6 or 8 years from cash to card.
Yep.
I remember when I started retail, 20 odd years ago, 25 years ago, pretty much every I don't think we had FPOS even. No, basically every transaction was cash. And then about 10 years ago, it got to the point where most places had FPOS, and it was for the most part, cash was still popular. And really, 3 to 4 years ago, we were still doing, and most retail, sort of general retail, not specifics, but general retails, we were still averaging about 90% cash and 10% card. And literally in the last 3 years, it's gone from 90% cash and 10% card to 95% card and 5% cash.
Wow.
Like, it's just done this massive flip in the last 2 or 3 years. But it's been this progression over 10, 12, 15 years that's just slowly started to trickle in. And at first you even ignored it. There's an ATM down the road going to cash. It's your own fault for not carrying cash, Yep. To the point now that if you don't have FPOS, something's taken off when bakeries adopt it. Most bakeries now have FPOS.
Yep.
And that's within the last 12 to 18 months, they never had FPOS. They just, because everything's cash with them, they can dodgy up the books, and that's why they only ever did cash. But
it drives me crazy when you go to do something and they're like, "Oh yeah, the ATM's just down the road there.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 10 minutes. Good luck."
Yeah, and I just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the thing is, now they're realizing that people will go somewhere else, and people don't carry cash, so they've had to get card. But it's really amazing. You look at the statistics on that, and it's hit critical mass. It's gone from that thing that it's over there and people are aware of it and sort of know about it, but whatever, to that's now mainstream. Cashless is now the new cash.
Yeah. The best way to be.
But I can see crypto doing the same thing. For the next 10 years, it's going to be like, there's that crypto thing, and hey, look, this place takes Bitcoin, that's interesting, and
whatever that is.
And then in 10 years' time, it'll be, look, maybe we should start looking at taking cryptocurrency as a sort of form of payment, because some people, they've got to go down the road, and all right. And then in 5, 6, 7 years past that, maybe 10 years past that, they'll go, "What, you don't take crypto? What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Everybody takes crypto. Like, the beggar on the corner has an FPOS that takes crypto.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be. And I can see exactly the same. It's starting now with, as I said, with this donation that happened earlier, and with the stock exchanges coming on board, and with it becoming in the media and just getting ingrained into people's mindsets. And you see things pop up on Facebook, and you see it pop up on the news, and it just slowly eats away, and eventually it'll hit critical mass, and you'll go from, and it'll happen really quick. Like, as I said, literally in 25 years, it went from that thing that nobody ever heard of.
Yep.
And then in the last 2 years, it did a complete flip. So it just happened all of a sudden, and I see this is going to do exactly the same thing. It's going to go from that thing that people, to that thing where you have to have that because that's the only thing people want.
Yeah, I can see at some stage someone's going to invent like a credit card size width, height, and depth device that's going to be like a multi-wallet that works with anything, and you just bump it against somebody else's card if you're out eating or something and you want to give your friend $10 for dinner. Instead of splitting the bill, you just bump your card against theirs. Or you could do it with a phone at the moment, but if you've got the guy sitting down on the corner begging and stuff, you can always bump, a couple of bucks to him by tapping cards or something like that with very low power, low range RF or Bluetooth or something like that. Just tap. There you go. There's some money. Or the kids going out. Hey, Mum, can I have $50 to go to the movies? Tap. There you go. Off you go. You got
that'll almost get you a ticket.
Australia coin or whatever. Yeah. It'll only get you one drink or one popcorn. You can take it.
That's it.
Reminds me. Have you ever watched Black Books? And Bernard gets locked out of his shop, and he goes to the cinema and he buys some popcorn and a drink, and he's like, "Excuse me, I gave you some money for popcorn and drink, and now I've got no money. What happened?" He's like, "Well, that's how much it costs." He's like, "What is it? Some sort of magic popcorn? Does it give me a dizzying high or something?" "No, it's just popcorn." "Okay, then."
Yeah, pretty much. No, and you're right. Like, I don't know what the device will be, whether it'll be a smartwatch or whether by then will possibly just be a chip that everybody's got implanted, or whether it'll be a phone but yeah,
you can get it embedded in your finger like Meow Meow. What's his name?
Well, they reckon for this sort of thing, and the only I'd love to have that and just walk up to a ATM and wave your hand or whatever. The only problem with that
force. This is not the ATM.
Give me money. The problem is that on a phone you can turn, like when you use the PayWave on your phone, when you activate the PayWave, it then activates the touchless for 10 or 15 seconds or whatever it is to do the transaction, then it deactivates it again. Yep. The only problem I see with having it either a hardwired chip or having a card or something like that is it's always going to be expecting something, so it would be very easy to
well, you could put a little keypad to type in a code or thumbprint reader or something.
It'd have to have something because I can see it being a very easy scam. I mean, have you seen the guys in I don't know exactly where it happened. I'm pretty sure it was Japan, but I'm not 100% certain. They were taking the PayPal, which I've got around here somewhere, the little PayPal reader, which is about half the size of the phone, and they take PayWave. And so what people were doing was they're putting in $99.99, and they're walking up and down the train, walking past people when it's standing room only, bumping it past their wallets until they got a hit.
Yeah.
And 95% of those people are going to realise it's happened, but you're going to get those couple of people who don't check that account or just don't care, and you're going to get away with it to some degree.
Yeah.
So that's the thing now. But yeah, no, I like that idea. Being able to see this brings it all back to what we were talking a couple of weeks ago about a exchange that works with every currency, because for that to work, you would need that central exchange.
Yeah, it seems there's a lot of coins coming. Well, a few coins coming out now with decentralized exchanges built into their wallets or something like that.
I mean, when legit exchanges actually get involved, then it's entirely possible every coin will be monitored, because that's sort of their thing. So maybe with this, what was it, this TMX, maybe if you got an account with them, then you have access to every exchange, or every coin. So,
probably, yeah.
Don't know. It's interesting times. We're talking realistically probably still 4 or 5 years down the track before that sort of even becomes a thought process. But
we're on the bleeding edge.
It's certainly something interesting to bear in mind, that if you're thinking about doing it, maybe now's a good time to think a little harder. So, alrighty. This week, the text messaging platform Cointext announced the public launch of its feature service that allows anybody with a mobile phone to transact with Bitcoin Cash without internet services. Cointext uses a phone short messaging service, also known as Bitcoin as SMS. Apparently, that's what SMS stands for. And beta release can now be tested throughout the US, Canada, South Africa, Switzerland, Sweden, Netherlands, and the UK. Okay. Apart from US, I get that list. Bitcoin Cash users now have the ability to send Bitcoin Cash, BCH, without an internet connection through a mobile phone's SMS protocol. On March 27th, the developer of Cointext launched a public beta version of this platform. Lead developer of Cointext and the company's co-founder and CTO, Vin Armani.
What a cool name.
Announced the launch. Cointext is the easiest and most powerful way to spread the use of Bitcoin Cash because it works any type of mobile phone. You don't need any knowledge of cryptocurrency to use it. I'm going to explain the day of the launch because Cointext runs over the SMS communications layer for mobile phones. The platform's wallet can do things most traditional crypto wallets cannot. For instance, with Cointext, it can be sent to a feature phone or Nokia type phone in order to target developing nations. Nearly 2,000 individuals have already signed up for Cointext during a soft launch for private testing. Platform's also giving away free BCH due to the donations provided by the DCH community. Interesting. I haven't had a chance to look into this. The only thing that concerns me is who keeps the wallet. Because SMS is not encrypted, nor encryptable, nor secure, especially on the older phones. You've got a keyboard lock. Some of the older phones you could key lock, but nobody ever did.
Yep.
SMS is a plain text as well, and have a 256 character limit, I believe, as well from memory. So, yeah, I'll need to look into it to see how it works. But there's a couple of questions that I have about that.
A little bit
mainly
of
security.
Further in the story, the development team explains that Cointext does not hold user funds, and all SMS transactions are settled on the BCH network on-chain. The SMS client cannot modify or censor any transactions, and it can't recover funds if a user loses their phone number. The firm roughly collects 5 cents worth of BCH for sending messages, and the fee is always the same.
Okay, so that makes sense. So they're literally you're just a display. They're working as the back end, and then when the transaction happens, they literally just send you effectively the confirmation. Okay, that makes it a little bit more, takes the security risk out of it.
It's a bit of a low-tech angle on a high-tech cryptocurrency thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad, although in Australia, at least, I'm not sure about, probably not in developing countries. In Australia, you have more of a chance of having Wi-Fi than you do phone reception a lot of the time. So maybe it's not the best suited for Australia, because I can think of a dozen places I visit regularly where I can't get phone signal, but I can get. So maybe that's not the case in a lot of other countries. Maybe, I guess, third world countries especially, Wi-Fi is probably far less prolific than phone. But look, and I think the one thing, as I said, the one thing that works really well for it is you literally can use a 5110. Like, it doesn't matter. Texting has been a thing that mobile phones have done since their conception, effectively. I believe even my old analog phone I could text message in.
Yep.
So might be time to crack out the old Philips Savvy I've got laying around and get texting.
Here we go.
That was a great phone. 8 weeks standby time.
You don't get that anymore.
You don't get. I had 8 weeks standby. I can't remember if it was my Jazz or my Savvy, but I know one of them had 8 weeks standby and 180 hours, I think, of talk time.
Yep.
Like, it was just insane. I remember doing TAFE, and you charge your phone like once a week. It was brilliant. So yeah, look, I think they did say though the only thing, it is locked to your phone number. So is that what I think you said? Yeah. So you just have to watch in a lot of the developing companies where they're targeting this. They are on an analog service still. Now, the only problem with that, don't get me wrong, analog can be incredibly secure. Problem is, it's generally not. The old CDMA networks. So, and it's also very easy to copy somebody's SIM card if you can get a hold of their phone.
Yeah.
So that would be my only concern, is making, that would then become your number one priority, I suppose, making sure nobody gets a hold of your number.
Yeah.
But no, good idea. I think really interesting concept. Interesting choice of coin.
Yeah.
Wonder why they went Bitcoin Cash. Sort of a odd. It's not well. I mean, it's a main coin, I suppose, but it's not really something that people
think about. Yeah.
Sort of associate. They know Bitcoin, they know Litecoin, they know Ethereum, they know all those other ones, but sort of Bitcoin Cash generally slips through the radar a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just able to do what they wanted to do. Had that particular thing that they were after.
And now we have an interview with our special guest, Jack Hurley from Australia Coin. All right, and now we head over to our special guest host on today's show, Jack from Australia Coin. How's things going?
Yeah, good. Guest host. That sounds pretty advanced. I mean, we definitely, when was it called? 10 minutes ago? It's all good. Finally got here. But, things are going really well. We're having a lot of fun here at Australia Coin. So obviously my day-to-day is 47 Crypto Labs, where Australia Coin is one of our projects. And, lots happened since I last spoke to you. So I was just looking up the stats here tonight on Australia.network, which is our block explorer. So we've just ticked over 2.3 million coins mined to date, which is pretty cool. And the network's got about 23 gigahashes at it. So it's the difficulties come down. So the Australia pool guys are in there mining. So anyone can mine with a GPU type device. And you jump on Australia pool and point on your gaming machine at this big network and get NAR. And it's happening, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's
we'll have to give it a go. I think Striker is going to get a ASIC, so he might be getting in there to grab a bunch of NARs himself.
Yeah, there's a few. I noticed the guys over on the Discord. They're definitely pretty energetic about playing with some of the ASIC stuff, which is great. But look, I get a lot of conversation around why don't we, limit ASIC use, and a classic is Monero. Monero right now has an ASIC problem. Ethereum has an ASIC problem as of in the last 48 hours, obviously with Bitmain.
Right.
So there's, I firmly believe that, the reason we launched with a, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Australia Coin copy is because of the applications behind it and the real use case. By all means, we need to service the network. ASICs are on board with Australia Coin to mine as many NAR as they can, and the effect of that is pushing the network difficulty up, which in turn slows down your network generation and transactions when it drops off and when there's no one there to mine it. So there's good and bad in all of it. But we're working through it. And I think that there's a couple of dedicated Australia Coin, developers and also people close to the project who are, buying time, buying hash power now to keep the network floating. But right now it's going along pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been a few developments. I know what was it last week? He announced the FPOS or the portable.
Australia
yeah.
Ozpos.
Ozpos. This is it's pretty cool, isn't it? You've got a couple of really good developers, and we have access to them because these guys are passionate about developing applications in an open source environment. The day jobs of these guys, they're techs or they're guys that don't essentially really need to do this stuff. They've got their own work and their own businesses, but they love it. All right, they actually love developing into this because it's so cutting edge on a new technology in Australia or around the world, obviously. So, and they're part of it. They're going fist in. So if you look at something like Australia POS, it's a really, it's a great solution for a real world problem. And that is that you have a Square, which is the Square card readers that can plug into your Android or your iPhone. So that solves the card and the tapping and all the rest of it. What we do is or what the Australia POS application does is tags onto the back of Square. So you can go buy a Square plug-in reader or a Bluetooth reader for between 19 and 56 bucks, I think they are. Run the Australia Coin wallet or the POS system on the back of it. So anyone who's using Square now can accept Australia Coin. So that's a big tick, And I don't, I hadn't seen Litecoin come up with that in Australia, or I keep talking about we've got as good a chance as any of being a transactional, cryptocurrency in our country, which is pretty cool. So, developers are building this stuff. And solving the real world problem of there's one day, there won't be cash. One day cash is not going to exist in this country. I've always called it, around 2020, we'll start seeing a big pullback. And I think within 4 years, I'll be surprised if we see cash on the streets. So what happens then? What happens to your busker? How do you solve those problems for people who need that instant payment? So we're thinking about all that stuff.
You guys just got a bit of a bonus uptick this week because Litecoin had Lite Pay merchant system, which just shut down all of a sudden, and then the guys from Litecoin had to apologise for that because they're all in on it and thought it was going to be a really big thing, and it ended up just falling to bits all of a sudden.
Look, another broken promise in the world of cryptocurrency. Look, I read somewhere that last week it was 60% of ICOs last year. You can't say fail yet, but not respond and not seeing stuff on the updates in the applications or on their media. So you can call a lot of that, gone, dead and buried, really. And I think that's another reason for why we did Australia Coin, as I maintained from the start as well. One, it was a great thing to do for education purposes to understand cryptocurrency. But the other thing is that it essentially is a Trojan horse. I mean, it's a application that works. It has 6 applications behind it. We're still pushing one to go, which is the Apple iOS wallet released by Apple on the App Store. We're having trouble there. Apple.
I've seen a few people have had trouble getting their wallets approved by Apple. And I think it's Engine have got a wallet that does all the ERC20 coins, and there's just waits and waits and waits, and Android is published the next day, and everyone can use it straight away.
Yeah, it's interesting there. Yeah, I mean that's the difference, isn't it? I mean you've got Apple as the great oligarch in the sky, just working whoever they want to work or not.
Maybe they've got an Apple coin coming out, and they want everyone to hold back until you can invest in Apple.
There's no doubt it'll come. There's I've talked a lot about in my discussions and talks that I do around tokenization of the world. The Big Mac coin and the Hungry Jack's coin and our kids will be swapping coins in the line. They'll be swapping a Nike coin for the Coke coin that they're just about to buy.
So it's going to be just like POS, but with an actual value.
Got to catch them all.
Got to catch them all. Yeah, no, that's bloody right too. So overall, Australia coin, the Australia POS, great, development, a well thought out application, works really well, and the guys there are going gangbusters on at the moment.
And that's one thing we should sort of mention, and definitely reiterate that all this that's happening behind the scenes, all the creation of the currency, the deposits happening, the Android app, the wallets, the mobile wallets, the online wallet, it's all effectively volunteer work for the most part. As you said, there's no reason to do it. Nobody's twisting their arm saying, "Hey, you have to do this." And I think that's what part of the mindset of this right from get-go was, well, we're just going to be vested in it because, effectively we're going to be vested in it because we're vested in it. There's no...
They're dedicated because they want to be.
Yeah. And, and they're not the sort of guys that sit there talking, you know, the next biggest thing, or this is going to be the biggest thing that's going to take over the internet, crypto. Like, we're realists. We're sitting here going, hey, we're a small Aussie, you know, crypto that's having a bit of fun, along with we do have an application that can actually really work. You know, so we're ticking a couple of boxes around the desirability and feasibility of the actual application.
Could have really used it today.
We have our own...
I went to Bunnings today and didn't have any change, so we could have really used it, I tell you.
You should have given them a call. Australia's the next thing. But it's interesting, you know, we do have our Nick Szabos and Hal Finneys within our group. You know, that's the cool thing. Obviously not the same, you know, cyberpunk sort of guys and come from that movement, but they are absolutely, you know, what you just said, passionate. They're not being paid. You know, they want to do this stuff because they want to see the good of the coin, do something, which is great. Like I said, you know, that's exactly what we all wanted out of this, is that a community develops and it's developing well.
It certainly is, and it's surprising how, what are we, 2 months in or something now? 3 months in.
January 28th. So we're getting in there now, a couple of months. But it's also we've done a few other little things along the way in the last month. Is we started our own Crypto Cobbers Facebook page, and that's, look, it's a fun page. It's really, we just wanted a no bullshit Facebook page where people aren't going to sit there plugging ICOs to try and work on affiliate programs. For us, it was all about, let's put some no bullshit comment and a few, a bit of Q&A around, if anyone wants to come and have a chat, then, come there and have a look and ask the hard questions.
Everyone's
like
really friendly.
Yeah, I know.
If you've got any
The classic.
you think are dumb, there's no dumb questions. Just come and ask. Everyone will help out.
Yeah, and we really want that. I want to help people. I want to help people not get scammed. I want to help people not get lose their bucks in this game. And I've been around a lot, like I said, and I don't mind saying I've been around long enough that I've seen a fair bit of crap go on. And and I think, look, Facebook's obviously a medium for that, but so is Reddit and Discord. You just get on the social and ask us anything. That's pretty cool. Now, the big thing about Crypto Cobbers is we have a Friday afternoon shout.
Usually.
So
most weeks.
Generally.
Except for Good Friday. Except for Good Friday, we took a holiday.
A lot of Catholic developers, is there?
I don't know. I'll reform one, but no, definitely. I forgot. I'm sure a few people forgot.
That's funny thing, because Thursday was sort of the last day at work, so I'm hanging out from. Oh, hang on, no, it's only Thursday today.
Yeah, well, I went off the mark. Yeah, I went off the mark a bit too early last week and hit it Thursday thinking it was Friday. And I'm going, oh God, I've had a busy week, man. So, but no, we have to do that every Friday afternoon shout. All you need to do is have a wallet address. It's really easy to do. I mean, just jump on AustraliaWallet.me and you can just generate a wallet in 2 seconds and put it there, and we'll give you NAR. We'll give you cryptocurrency because we want people to use it and start, flicking it around and show its speed and it's not speed sometimes and what it's doing. So,
well, it's still the best place to get it is TradeOga if you wanted to buy it.
Yeah, trade. I just looked at the price. You can get it there. There's a sale. There's a fire sale tonight.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, no, look, I'm honestly, I'm going to flick some video over now and have a crack at that because. There's about 110,000 NAR there, and you can pick it up from anything from a couple of cents to I don't know. It'll probably bounce up to 10, 15 pretty quick.
Well, it's been sitting about 20 cents for the last few weeks. Is where it's sort of been. Floating.
Yeah, we like to sit it. Yeah, because I think the latest calcs on some of the guys doing it, it's about 10 cents per NAR was the cost of actually doing it today. So. Yeah. It's got to have that price, right? So if that's the cost for the actual manufacturer of it.
And don't forget to electricity. I use the when you do the drops, I always put my Android wallet number in because it's always got it on me. So it's the easiest way of doing that.
That's a great thing too. So obviously, grabbing a wallet off your Android wallet, your iPhone wallet, you can still get by sending us a message, and one of the guys will send you an invite to get the iPhone wallet. But yeah, there's a few other ways.
And what I love about it too is you've got the QR code. So if you are with somebody else you've got a few different ways of sharing it. You can share the code, you can share the QR, you can send somebody a request to share it. You can, it's really nifty. It works really well. The only problem I had was actually getting because there wasn't the QR code on the desktop one. So to get the money from my desktop wallet to my Android wallet was a bit of a
copy and paste, right? So you've got an easy copy button on there that can solve that pretty quick. But using it's one thing you can try there. Obviously, is maybe hold up your QR code there again into the camera and just hold it there for a few more seconds.
Whether or not this will actually show.
Just back off a little bit. Yep, back off a tiny bit.
Good.
Come forward a little bit.
Up a bit, left a bit.
So check that now. So, once it goes on, if you can see that QR code, someone hit it and throw some NAR.
Yeah, I don't know.
Simple as that.
One thing we've learned doing
wallets
podcasts.
at the end of the show anyway. Our wallets will be on the screen.
Let's do.
Sorry, I was just going to say, one thing I've learned over the years doing podcasting is phone screens are horrendous on video cameras for some bizarre reason.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If you really want, you can go to australia.network/QR/ and put your wallet in there, the wallet address, and it'll generate a QR code automatically on the website for you.
Yeah, and you've got it to go. Now, I think the big thing to think about there is that when the QR code comes onto your show at the end, we'll throw some NAR in it. So let's show how we can do that, and I'm sure our community will get behind you guys. If you guys keep talking about Australia, we keep talking about everyone. So
who knows? I was going to say, we might be able to shout Jack a new set of headphones.
Yeah. So I've got it all going on. So the device I'm doing this on right now is about to power down. So when I disappear in a sec, the interview's over. But it's all good. Big things happening. Obviously, Bitcoin, Ethereum, we've all taken a hit. I always buy every day when I see it like this, and I keep doing it. Think about the long term, everyone. I think that's a big thing.
Exactly. The funny thing I saw today, the RSP I use for my internet, Aussie Broadband, did a April Fool's joke that they were only going to accept Bitcoin from now on. And I was like, come on, you guys, you're Australian. You should have Australia coin and not Bitcoin. Come on.
But isn't that funny? It's like, give it another 12 months or 18 months or maybe 2 years. It's probably that anyway. So it's not that much of a stretch, is it? Well,
that's what I was saying with that Aussie, the POS you're looking at doing. I'd love to implement that at work, but I've got to convince the boss that it's an actual thing.
Well, the whole thing, and the thing about, that's right. But the thing about it is, you need users. It's great having these applications, but we still need a community.
Right. You got to get it out there.
Well, that's right. I think, we might look like, would it be great to sponsor all the community groups who do sausages and buns, or all the community groups for, netball in Australia? They're the sort of things we're thinking about. We want a vast community of someone. So, keep throwing ideas at us, because we're pretty keen to get behind people and help them out, or even promote individuals. Art, street art, the whole lot.
Great. Imagine that, having a street banner above a parade, or there's a parade or a show or something going on. There's a banner sitting there, and you just have your QR code on the banner, and as you're going past, you scan it and throw them some coin.
Well, that's it. I was in ACDC Lane yesterday in Melbourne, which is full of, really cool graffiti. And I'm just thinking there going, there's a real little, just a QR code in the corner for the graffiti coin or the Australia coin. We can pay these artists directly by just walking past. I saw a Banksy there as well, which is quite amazing.
Oh, wow.
A little rat with a parachute in the corner. It says Banksy's Melbourne 1 or something. He did 9 of them in 2012, 2 or something. Yeah, it's quite awesome. But so things like that. So there's a lot of use cases. It's all about just getting behind it, really.
Cool. Well, thank you. We'll let you go before your phone completely dies on you. Thanks for joining us and keeping us updated and what's happening in the world out there.
Really appreciate it.
Excellent. And one little last thing is launching a new application this week from It's called Crypto Jaunt.
Woo.
And in here somewhere, whoop, you can see Australia Coin is the guy there with the fire. You Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Lady Dog Coin. So what that's all about is we're doing a crypto-only travel site where you can only accept crypto, and Australia Coin is number one, and that's what we'll be accepting. You can see Bitcoin Cash there. He's the fat one. Yeah, I'm not a fan, but anyway,
lazy sitting back, let everyone else bring the work to him.
Exactly. So we're going to accept around 280 cryptocurrencies in this site. We have a travel agent who's working closely with us at the moment. So it's all about accepting crypto and organising, tourism around the world. Fly anywhere on crypto. So that's the game for us. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's another 47 project, and
I love the
just
dog.
putting the doggy coin. You like him? He's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you got Litecoin boy. He's sort of just the quick, fast dude running around, and Ethereum lady. She's the power woman. And obviously the shady Monero in the backs. We love that. So.
Yeah, thanks, Jack, for coming on the show. We really enjoyed it.
It's always good.
Have you around?
Yeah, it was, by sounds of things, he wants to be a little bit more regular too, so that'll be fun times ahead.
What we could all do with a bit of fibre in our diet. Is that? Oh wait, that's not what you're talking about.
Well, it's Jack. Anything's possible. So I like his idea though. Start giving us money just for promoting the coin. I think I'm happy with that.
We're down with that. And our coin of the week, we're not recommending purchasing it, of course, just explaining what it is and what it can be used for, particularly if it has good real-world use. This week's coin is AEON, and you can find that at aeon.cash website. AEON isn't just a currency, it's a lifestyle. It's a decentralized digital currency is slowly becoming a normal part of everyday life, yet everybody's main internet device continues to be their cell phone, a device with a low-powered CPU and limited available storage. AEON is about enabling this era, enabling an age where people all over the world have freedom to privately send and receive money with whatever gadget they already own. How is AEON different to Monero, which it's forked from? Compared to our crypto note big brother, here are AEON's main advantages. One, it's mobile friendly. A 1 meg scratch pad allows AEON to run effectively on mobile devices alongside regular laptops and desktops. 2, a different proof of work. AEON's lightweight proof of work Cryptonote Lite allows for faster verification of the blockchain. 3, the blockchain pruning for scalability. Pruning allows the blockchain to stay small and not outgrow devices with limited storage. This feature also improves anonymity by reducing age-based attacks. Fast syncing. Compared to Bitcoin variants, Cryptonote coins typically have higher still a notification, leading to more orphan blocks. AEON helps this issue by using a 4-minute block time, reducing sync by a factor of 4. Coupled with the lighter POW, sync times on lower-end devices can be improved by 10 times or more. Optional lightweight transfers, number 5. As Cryptonote coin, payments are still anonymous by default, but unlike Monero, AEON also allows for traceable transfers. These are faster, lower fee option for non-sensitive payments like transferring to and from exchanges. Overall, AEON seeks to be a lightweight Monero, similar to how Litecoin seeks to be a lightweight Bitcoin. While still drawing from technical advantages of Monero and Cryptonote, AEON has distinct development goals and an independent community that enable it to thrive as its own currency. And as a recording of this show, one AEON is worth $1.84 Australian dollars. I've got 2 AEON from mining on my 2 computers. I've switched them over to that from Electronium from a couple of weeks ago just to try something different, and seems to be powering along. With the 2 of them, I usually get about 5 to 5.5 kilo hashes per second, which is nearly double what I was getting with Electronium. But difficulty is highish, so and it's worth more. So something to look into, but it was a lot of fun to do, and just another coin to look into.
Yeah, and it's obviously using the security that they're using Monero backend effectively. Obviously now they've discovered that Monero is not as secure as they thought they were, so keep in mind this is using the same security.
Yep.
It may not be as secure as they would like it to be, but then again, it may be. Who knows?
You
Maybe
might not need it if you're legit anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the other thing too, and I do like that they're saying that they can make faster or cheaper payments if you don't want to go the secure route. If you're just happy to be non-secure and just be normal person, it's cheaper and faster.
Yeah.
So I like that, which makes sense because you don't have to encrypt it and blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
So, that's.
One other thing I was thinking of that I forgot to mention in our interview with Jack from Australia Coin is we need to contact Blockbid. That's going to be Australia's main cryptocurrency exchange, and tell them to list Australia Coin so we can buy from them.
Yeah, so everybody get onto that. Go on.
They've got
harass
on
them.
the website, blockbid.io, I think it was. Go there and you've got submit my coin link, and they'll see if they can get that added on, which would be great.
Now, if you spell block correctly, the site works. By the way. If you don't spell it correctly, it doesn't work.
Yeah, block's very difficult. It could be just BOLQ or BOLK.
Well, that's that.
Who knows?
I know it sounds stupid, but that's actually the problem I had. Was I had 3 goes at spelling block.
That's because you're a blockhead.
Yes. Well, hey, you leave Gumby out of this.
Visit our website at aussietechcrypto.com and send us an email from the Contact Us form, or jump onto Discord to talk to us. You don't forget to like our show and put some comments on YouTube, and leave a review in the iTunes or whatever podcast application you've downloaded us from.
And the one thing I'd like to say just quickly, don't forget to share us on things like Facebook and social media, because a lot of the questions people ask we have covered on previous shows, and a lot of people aren't aware that we're even there, including some of the websites that we talk about regularly. So, share us around. I'll even mention to people, hey, you can go check this out. They've got your questions answered. So,
and at the bottom of every video show on YouTube, we're going to have our wallets across the bottom here, so you can send us donations if you like. Thanks, we appreciate it. Especially Australia. It's awesome. Alrighty, we'll see you all again next time. Take care and bye.
Bye.
This show is a part of the Aussie Tech Heads podcasting network. You can listen to us at aussietechradio.com. We're not licensed advisors, so please don't invest your life savings in anything we say on the show. You can contact us at feedback@aussietechcrypto.com. Visit the website aussietechcrypto.com. Thanks for listening to Aussie Tech Crypto. Tune in each week for more fun and information.